With Hive being the main focus in Season of the Witch, I figured why not try a Hive-inspired build. Today we're going to be looking at the Strand Hunter, which utilizes the Mothkeeper's Wraps and Exteriors to give us a ton of survivability in any type of content, stun not only Barrier but Overload and Unstoppable, and our moths are actually going to allow us to put out a ton of damage on enemies. Welcome back, guys. Let's get right into the build. Now, I've been having a lot of fun using this build in different activities, most notably Crota's End with and without contest mode on. For our aspects, we're going to be running Whirling Maelstrom and Threaded Spectre. Whirling Maelstrom will allow us to destroy tangles created by severed targets to create a miniature tornado of Strand, which will go out and kill enemies for us. We're going to be using Threaded Spectre in conjunction with that. When we use our class ability, we'll create a decoy which will take enemy fire for us, refund our melee once we use it, and once destroyed, release a Threadling to go and do a little bit of damage. For our abilities, we're going to be running Gambler's Dodge, whatever jump you prefer, the Threaded Spike melee, and your grenade doesn't too much matter because we are running the Mothkeeper's exotic gauntlets, which will replace our grenade with 2 moth grenade charges. This build is going to heavily revolve around our Threaded Spike melee for the Hunter and the Mothkeeper grenade charges. The Threaded Spike melee Hunter will damage and sever targets it hits, so if you kill an enemy with your Threaded Spike, it will create a tangle. Once that tangle is created, you can shoot it or throw it to create a Whirling Maelstrom, and you can refund your melee with Threaded Spectre. So not only will Threaded Spectre help you out when your health gets low, but it's also going to refund that melee. After your tangle cooldown disappears, you can essentially throw another Threaded Spike to create a tangle and continuously have a Whirling Maelstrom up to help with ad control or putting damage down on a higher health enemy. Alongside the Whirling Maelstroms that we'll have out there, the Mothkeeper's Wraps turns your grenade into a double charge of moths. What that does is when you throw your grenade, on impact, it will release 2 moths, either 2 damaging moths or a healing moth and a damaging moth. If you are far away from your enemy and were to throw it, it'll spawn 2 damaging moths doing 30,000. So you're almost able to get 60,000 damage from one throw. Since you have 2, throwing 2 of those is 120,000 damage for free. On top of that, not only does it do a ton of damage, but it creates a blinding explosion as well, and that's going to help with our champions later on. If it reaches an ally, it grants them a small void overshield to help with survivability, but we're really using this for the free damage. You'll see that I get a ton of overshields and I'm still able to put champions down fairly quickly. The best part of the gauntlets, in my opinion, is being able to stun unstoppable champions by simply throwing the grenade out. On top of using the grenade from the exotics, the Exteriors grenade launcher that we're going to be running in our secondary slot also creates moths on final blows. So let's say you kill an acolyte or a thrall, the Exteriors will spawn a moth, and if it were to fly into an unstoppable champion, it would create a blinding effect as well. So we're always going to be able to stun unstoppable champions and blind minor enemies that are still there. The fragments we're going to be running for this is going to be Thread of Isolation, Thread of Continuity, Thread of Generation, and Thread of Warding. Isolation is going to allow us to create a severing burst by landing rapid precision hits. This is going to help us create more tangles so we can always have Whirling Maelstrom up. Continuity is going to increase the duration of Suspend, Unravel, and Sever. Generation is going to create grenade energy by dealing damage. And Warding is going to give us Woven Mail by picking up an Orb of Power. Woven Mail, once granted, is just going to decrease all the damage we're taking from enemies out there. For this build, you guys are going to want to build into your resilience and your discipline and your mobility. I am running tier 10 resilience and discipline, and I'm still getting my mobility back. Unfortunately, I couldn't build into mobility as high as I wanted to, but I'm still getting it back fairly quickly, and I always have it when I get into a situation where I do need it. We definitely want to build into our grenades because, like I said, your overshields can come from your moths as well. So if you don't have a decoy to leave behind right away, you don't have to worry about it because you can always get a moth to give you some overshields while you wait for your dodge to refill. For our mods on the helmet, we are going to be running Harmonic Siphon with Arc and Strand Siphon, followed by an Arc Siphon mod. For our gauntlets, we're going to be running Impact Induction, Heavy Handed, and Focusing Strike. Your chest pieces, I typically like to do Arc, Void, and Solar Resistance. For our boots, we're going to be running Recuperation, Absolution, and Installation. And on the cloak, you can run a different mod other than Powerful Attraction, but for the woven mail, I do like to use Powerful Attraction, Utility Kickstart, and Bomber. As far as weapons go, I am going to be running Rufus's Fury to deal with anti-barrier champions, the X-Deers to deal with Unstoppable in the event that I don't already have a grenade to deal with them, and any LMG works. You don't have to run Song of Urut, but I am running Song of Urut because I managed to get a reconstruction target lock roll and it's working pretty well for me. We're going to be running an LMG because our Artifact mod gives us overload machine guns to deal with those overload champions. To use this build most efficiently, you want to start off by throwing out your melee. Your melee doing damage starts to sever a target. Once that target dies by your primary, secondary, or heavy, they're going to drop a tangle. When they drop that tangle, you can shoot it or pick it up, and it's going to create that maelstrom that's going to travel around the map, killing your enemies. If you don't get your melee back in full, that's fine. You can do a dodge. Not only are you going to be getting your decoy from Threaded Spectre to take the damage for you, but you're going to be running Gambler's Dodge, which is going to refund your melee in full, so you can throw another Threaded Spike and get another tangle. You do have to keep tabs on the left side of your screen. There is a 6 or 7 second cooldown where you cannot create another tangle, but if your teammate were to create a tangle, you can use that to create a maelstrom. To tie everything together, you can use your moths one of two ways. If you throw them close to you, they'll spawn one void, which will give you an overshield, and an arc, which will damage and blind enemies. Or if you throw them far away from you, or if you're out of range, it'll spawn 2 arc moths, which do about 30,000 damage each. And you get 2 grenade charges, so you can be looking at a total of 120,000 damage on your higher ranking enemies. But it is up to you. I have found myself in situations where throwing it closest to me to get that overshield does save my life, and it did especially help in contest mode. But that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think of the build down below. Also, let me know what character I should do next, whether that's my Titan, Warlock, or Hunter. If you guys really enjoyed the content and you liked the video, leaving me a like and subscribe really goes a long way. Lets me know that you guys like the content. Until then, my friends, you guys be easy, stay safe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.